What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. It's currently Monday the 4th of September, 10 minutes past 1 a.m. So this is the latest upload. And yeah, we hit 400 subscribers. So I want to say thank you. Hello to all my new subscribers. Welcome. And yeah, we're going to get straight into the charts. It is the start of a new month. That means that we're going to be looking at the IPDA data ranges. As you can see, I have them marked out: 2040 and 60-day look back period, 2040 and 60-day look forward period. But before we get into all of that, we're going to drop down to the 4 hour just so we can have a quick look at last week's price action. Now you can see we came up on the Monday, creating the high of the week, traded into this rejection block, which traded to the 50% level of that. We then traded lower, started running into the lows resting here, here, and here. We stepped down. Tuesday we came back up, retraced, filling in this fair value gap. Very nice to see. And then you can see we traded lower, creating the low of the day on Wednesday. And then from then on, we moved our way back up, filling in that complete range, and traded now right back up to that Monday high. So it was quite a crazy week, so to speak. You can see we had non-farm payroll. You can see what that did. We came down, took out that sell side liquidity, and then started to run aggressively up towards these highs. And yeah, not as anticipated, but it was nice to see. And on you can see we created the low on Wednesday, and then from then on we moved up for the rest of the week. So this is actually a trade. This is actually a weekly profile when price likes to create the low on the Wednesday, and then for the rest of the week we move higher. So that's nice to see. But yeah, I'm going to get straight to the IPDA data ranges because I want to talk about the new month. What's going into the fall now is September, October, November. So yeah, we'll start with the daily. If you don't know what IPDA data ranges are, please go to ICT's videos, type in IPDA data range. He has a whole video explaining it. But you can see I've marked out the start of the first day of August. That's how you're supposed to do it. I casted back 20 days, 40 days, 60-day period. And I've casted forward 20 days, 40-day and 60-day period. So what am I looking for? Well, you can see that we've taken out lows of the 40-day and 60-day period here. So I'm just going to mark out all the lows and highs just to show you what I'm looking for. So we have the low here of that 60-day period back in May. I'll make it a little bit thicker. We have the low here. And we have the low here. And you can see that this low, this move lower, took out lows from here and here. So we grabbed stops from all below here now. And you can see since then we've started to move aggressively higher and traded above these relative equal highs resting here. So we'll take a better look at that in a second. And then I'll go on to explain what I'm expecting in terms of these next 20 days, as in from 40 and 60-day period. And I'll just mark out the highs as well. And guys, this is what you guys should be doing. And I'm going to mark out all the highs which haven't been tagged. So we've got this high here. Keep that drawn out. This high has been tagged, so we don't need to draw that out. And this high here has been tagged, so we don't need to draw this out. This high here has not been tagged, so we can draw that out. And yeah, so what am I expecting? I don't know how that got there. So what am I expecting? Well, you can see that we came down recently, as in this previous week. This is the daily chart, remember. Took out these sell stops resting below here, so that sell side liquidity grabbed. And now we've started to expand higher quite aggressively too. I am anticipating a run on this swing high here from Friday the 25th of August and this high here, because these are now relative equal highs. So I want to see this week if we can start to push up into these highs. And you'll see that if we go on the weekly, we have this long wick here. I like the look of this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out the 50% level of that, as that will give us consequent encroachment. So that will be a potential target for price to want to draw to in terms of the buy side. Whether we do it in 1 week or whether we do it in 2 or 3, in terms of buy side for dollar, this is where I want to see price draw up to. So I'm just going to mark that out as consequent encroachment. And if you're new here, guys, this is how I usually go about. At the beginning of every month, I tend to look at the IPDA data ranges. So that's what I'm doing here. And then you'll see in my daily uploads, sorry, in my daily uploads, it's a lot shorter, to be honest. So yeah, so we have the consequent encroachment marked out now of that weekly candle. And if we go to the daily, we also have this massive order block that we're currently trading towards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the low and the high of that out as well, because I want to talk about and look at how price makes its way through it. So we have this bullish order block low, so we can put plus OB low. Right, so we have the bullish order block low here. We have the bullish order block high. I've also marked out the mean threshold of the bullish order block, that is this line here. And I also marked out this volume imbalance. And what I want to see is I want to see if price can find support within inside the order block and then push higher and run into this imbalance, because we have a swing high up here as well. Obviously the swing high is here and here, as I previously stated, and I want to see if price can reach for that. So that's what I've marked out with that in terms of that order block. And if we go lower, we can also see a inversion fair value gap that I've marked out. So this is an inversion fair value gap because we traded on the downside, then on the upside. So now when price comes back to it, I expect it to find support on top of this fair value gap. It should act as a bullish fair value gap basically. So that's what I've got drawn out here. When we drop down to the 4 hour, we can have a better look. You can see we came down, took out this outside liquidity, and since then have traded higher. Look how we touched that high. Sorry, touched that low. So we trade through it, find support on that low, and now we're expanding higher. And we also have a breaker high here, because if we drop down to the 1 hour, we can see a low, a high, a lower low, break higher. So price doesn't need to come down back to this breaker high, but I do anticipate it coming back into this inversion fair value gap to find support, and then run into this buy side liquidity, as I just said, and reach for that volume imbalance we have marked out on the daily here. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm expecting. It's possible we might take this high out first before we come back down into this inversion fair value gap. That's a big possibility. But overall, I'm expecting more bullish dollar, and until proven otherwise, I expect nothing else. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll go over to GBP. And yeah, so I've marked out the IPDA data range for GBP. These lows here and here haven't been tagged, and GBP isn't as clean right now, so to speak. I do want to see if I do anticipate this low getting taken out. Obviously, with higher dollar, that means lower GBP. So I want to see if this low can get taken out. But in terms of discount PDA raise, there is this swing low as well for sell side liquidity that we might want to trade into. So I'm going to make that here, sell side. So I want to see us reach down into that sell side liquidity. We do have this order block as well, so we need to see how price treats it when it gets down there. But like I said, GBP is a little bit harder to read right now, so I'm not going to say too much. There is this low from the month of June that it might want to take out, and it might even want to take out this low as well. If that's the case, then we need to look at the weekly, and we need to think about where price would be drawing down into. And to be honest, there's not really any imbalances that I can see on the weekly, so to speak. However, this order block does seem like a likely draw. So I'm going to draw out the open of this order block, which is here, which is just at that sell side liquidity. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with Euro in terms of I want to see if we can trade to it and into it. So I'll mark the high, the low, and the midpoint. And the midpoint will be the lowest I'd want to see price respect before continuing on bullishly on GBP. But yeah, it's not as, like I said, not as clean right now. So if we drop down to the 4 hour, we can have a better look. We have that bullish order block marked out in orange, and that's outside liquidity. So let's see if we can dip down into that, and then we'll see how price acts from then on. In terms of this week specifically, again, we'll have another inversion fair value gap here. So, you know, price should be finding some kind of resistance as it's moving its way down. We have this order block as well. this order block should now act as a bearish order block, because when we trade through it, it turns from a bullish order block to a bearish order block. So when price trades back into this, I want to see it find resistance and then start to run lower and take out again this sell side liquidity and dip into that weekly fair value gap that we have delineated in orange. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Monday gives us. It is a American holiday, so I doubt much price action is going to be going on. But yeah, we can only wait. So finally, I'm going to look at Euro. We'll look at the weekly very quickly now, because I do need to get going. We've filled in this fair value gap, and you can see we're traded lower. We have this order block here. Again, there's not really many imbalances, so to speak, on Euro. So I don't really want to say too much all in all. But I do like the look of this swing low resting here on the daily. Nothing too crazy. South side liquidity resting here. And then obviously we have south side resting below here as well. But it all depends on what dollar gives us. It all depends on how fast how fast the markets move. And it all depends if dollar wants to, either respect this order block on the daily, trade into this imbalance and start to turn away, or if we're going to continue bullishly and then run through the order block, and then we'd start looking for these highs to get tagged. But until then, I'm just going to be bullish up into this imbalance and then let the market show me what it wants to do. But that's everything, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.